Utah is a very interesting state. To find out how it was able to grow from a small community of Mormons to a whole state, we should start by talking about its geography. Utah is a landlocked state in the Mountain West subregion of the western United States. Of the 50 U.S. states, it is the 13th largest by area. It covers an area of 84,899 square miles. With a population over 3 million, it is the 30th most populous and 11th least densely populated. The 2020 U.S. Census estimated that the population of Utah had a 16% increase since the 2010 U.S. Census. It is known for its natural diversity and is home to features ranging from arid deserts with dunes to thriving pine forests in mountain valleys. Utah features a dry, semi-arid to desert climate, although its many mountains feature a large variety of climates, with the highest points in the Uinta Mountains being above the timberline. It is a rugged and geographically diverse state at the convergence of three distinct geological regions: the Rocky Mountains, the Great Basin, and the Colorado Plateau. Urban development is mostly concentrated in two areas: the Wasatch Front in the north-central part of the state, which is home to roughly two-thirds of the population. It includes the capital city, Salt Lake City, and Washington County in the southwest, with more than 180,000 residents. Most of the western half of the state lies in the Great Basin. Utah had been inhabited for thousands of years by various indigenous groups, such as the ancient Puebloans, Navajo, and Ute. Even while it was Mexican territory, many of Utah's earliest settlers were American, particularly Mormons fleeing marginalization and persecution from the United States via the Mormon Trail. The Mormon Trail extends from Nauvoo, Illinois. It was the principal settlement of the Latter-day Saints from 1839 to 1846, to Salt Lake City, which was settled by Brigham Young and his followers beginning in 1847. The Mormon Pioneer Run began in 1846, when Young and his followers were driven from Nauvoo. After leaving, they aimed to establish a new home for the church in the Great Basin and crossed Iowa. Along their way, some were assigned to establish settlements and to plant and harvest crops for later emigrants. During the winter of 1846 to 1847, the emigrants wintered in Iowa, other nearby states, and the unorganized territory that later became Nebraska, with the largest group residing in winter quarters. In the spring of 1847, Young led the Vanguard Company to the Salt Lake Valley, which was then outside the boundaries of the United States and later became Utah. During the first few years, the emigrants were mostly former occupants of Nauvoo who were following Young to Utah. Later, the emigrants increasingly included converts from the British Isles and Europe. The trail was used for more than 20 years, until the completion of the first transcontinental railroad in 1869. Among the emigrants were the Mormon handcart pioneers of 1856 to 1860. Two of the handcart companies, led by James G. Willey and Edward Martin, met disaster on the trail when they departed late and were caught by heavy snowstorms in Wyoming. Following the death of Joseph Smith in 1844, Brigham Young, as president of the Quorum of the 12, became the leader of the LDS Church in Nauvoo, Illinois. To address the growing conflicts between his people and their neighbors, Young agreed with Illinois Governor Thomas Ford in October 1845 that the Mormons would leave by the following year. Young and the first group of Mormon pioneers reached the Salt Lake Valley on July 24, 1847. Over the next 22 years, more than 70,000 pioneers crossed the plains and settled in Utah. For the first few years, Brigham Young and the thousands of early settlers of Salt Lake City struggled to survive. The arid desert land was deemed desirable by the Mormons as a place where they could practice their religion without harassment. Learning that California and New Mexico were applying for statehood, the settlers of the Utah area, originally having planned to petition for territorial status, applied for statehood with an ambitious plan for a state of Deseret. Disputes between the Mormon inhabitants and the U.S. government intensified due to the practice of polygamy among members of the LDS Church. The Mormons were still pushing for the establishment of a state of Deseret with the new borders of the Utah Territory. Most, if not all, of the members of the U.S. government opposed the polygamous practices of the Mormons. Members of the LDS Church were viewed as un-American and rebellious when news of their polygamous practices spread. During the 1870s and 1880s, laws were passed to punish polygamists, due in part to stories from notably and Eliza Young, 10th wife to divorce Brigham Young. Slightly over half of all Utah residents are Mormons, the vast majority of whom are members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. It is the only state where a majority of the population belongs to a single church. The LDS Church greatly influences Utah culture, politics, and daily life, though since the 1990s the state has become more religiously diverse as well as secular. Beginning in the early 20th century, with the establishment of such national parks as Bryce Canyon National Park and Zion National Park, Utah became known for its natural beauty. Southern Utah became a popular filming spot for arid, rugged scenes featured in the popular mid-century Western film genre. Mormons are the largest religious group in the state. However, the percentage of Mormons in the overall population has been decreasing. In 2017, 62.8% of Utahns were members of the LDS Church. This declined to 61.2% in 2018 and to 60.7% in 2019. Members of the LDS Church currently make up between 34% to 41% of the population within Salt Lake City. Though the LDS Church officially maintains a policy of neutrality in regard to political parties, the Church's doctrine has a strong regional influence on politics. Another doctrine effect can be seen in the high birth rate, 25% higher than the national average, the highest for a state in the U.S. Mormons in Utah tend to have conservative views when it comes to most political issues, and the majority of voter-age residents are unaffiliated voters, 60% who vote overwhelmingly Republican. According to the Bureau of Economic Analysis, the GSP of Utah in 2012 was $130.5 billion. That is 0.87% of the total United States GDP of $14.9 trillion for the same year. The per capita personal income was $45,700 in 2012. Major industries of Utah include mining, cattle ranching, salt production, and government services. As of September 2014, the state's unemployment rate was 3.5%. In terms of small business friendliness, in 2014 Utah emerged as number 1, based on a study drawing upon data from more than 12,000 small business owners. According to Internal Revenue Service tax returns, Utahns rank first among all U.S. states in the proportion of income given to charity by the wealthy. This is due to the standard 10% of all earnings that Mormons give to the LDS Church. The state collects personal income tax. Since 2008, the tax has been a flat 5% for all taxpayers. The state sales tax has a base rate of 6.45%, with cities and counties levying additional local sales taxes that vary among the municipalities. Property taxes are assessed and collected locally. Utah does not charge intangible property taxes and does not impose an inheritance tax. Tourism is a major industry in the state. With 5 national parks, Arches, Bryce Canyon, Canyonlands, Capitol Reef, and Zion, the state has the 3rd most national parks of any state after Alaska and California. In addition, Utah features 8 national monuments. Utah has seen an increase in tourism since the 2002 Winter Olympics. Its ski resorts are primarily located in the northern near Salt Lake City, Park City, Ogden, and Provo. Between 2007 and 2011, Deer Valley Park City has been ranked the top ski resort in North America in a survey organized by Ski Magazine. Other attractions include Monument Valley, the Great Salt Lake, the Bonneville Salt Flats, and Lake Powell. Beginning in the late 19th century with the state's mining boom, companies attracted large numbers of immigrants with job opportunities. Since the days of the Utah Territory, mining has played a major role in the economy. Historical mining towns include Mecca in Tooele County, Silver Reef in Washington County, Eureka in Juab County, Park City in Summit County, and numerous coal mining camps throughout Carbon County such as Castlegate, Spring Canyon, and Hiawatha. Rich silver mines in the mountains adjacent to the towns led to many people flocking to the towns in search of wealth. During the early part of the Cold War era, uranium was mined in the eastern part of the state. Today, mining activity still plays a major role in the state's economy. Minerals mined in Utah include copper, gold, silver, molybdenum, zinc, lead, and beryllium. Fossil fuels including coal, petroleum, and natural gas continue to play a large role in the economy, especially in the eastern part of the state. Utah extracts more coal and generates more electricity than it consumes. The state has the potential to generate 31.6 terawatts per year from 13.1 gigawatts of wind power and 10,290 terawatts per year from solar power using 4,048 gigawatts of photovoltaic. Utah is one of the most Republican states in the nation. It was the single most Republican-leaning state in the country in every presidential election from 1976 to 2004, measured by the percentage point margin between the Republican and Democratic candidates. In 2008, it was only the third most Republican state after Wyoming and Oklahoma. The state is much more conservative than the United States as a whole, primarily on social issues. Compared to other Republican-dominated states in the Mountain West such as Idaho and Wyoming, Utah politics have a more moralistic and less libertarian character. About 80% of Utah's legislature are members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, while members account for 61% of the population. Since becoming a state in 1896, Utah has had only 2 non-Mormon governors. It is clear that Utah as a state started with a common interest in mind and continues implementing it till now. If you are a resident of Utah, I would like to hear in the comments how your experience and way of living is. If you would like to see more of this content, please consider subscribing.